Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this is a video and associated blog about my Sacred West of Ireland tours, and they're detailed on the Druid Forest School website, Sacred West of Ireland Tours page. And this particular video and blog is actually about a tour I led on March the 2nd, 2020 to Ben Bulben. Ben Bulben, the sacred mountain that so drew W.B. Yeats and Lady Gregory, and about which W.B. Yeats wrote The Hosting of the She. And there's a wonderful Waterboys rendering of that, totally wonderful. So, on this tour, the rocks felt utterly full of energy. And people felt they fed and supported dragons or dragon energy at the far end of the line of serrated pinnacles that is the side of Ben Bulben Tabletop Mountain. We ourselves walked along the very accessible Ben Bulben Forest walk at the foot of the plateau. And the people on the tour stopped from time to time to connect geomantically with the earth energies and make vision connection with what they saw and worked out what the gift of the mountain was to them, what the mountain meant to them. And so there were pauses for exercises in geomancy. The walk's utterly beautiful, and the second half of it is actually on the other side of the forest at the foot of Ben Bulben Mountain, looking out over the Atlantic, looking towards Donegal and Slieve League Mountain, utterly lovely. So after the walk, I offered a shamanic journey to the guests, who were charming and wonderfully spiritual shamanic people from Arkansas. And the intention of the journey was to find our power animal or elemental being or whatever that originates from Ben Bulben, that we had encountered during the Ben Bulben walk. And the intention also was that when we said the name Ben Bulben, we would thus be empowered and able to call to mind and into our vision and consciousness the position, the rock position on the crenellated rock face with its exalted pinnacles, and the being inhabiting that place. And so when we say the name of the mountain, we will therefore see the power animal or elemental or other spirit. And this video and blog is actually entitled Thin Places, places where the veils between the worlds are thin, because over and over again I have run into encounters with these thin places as I run these tours. And fascinatingly, what happened when the moment I started the shamanic journey, hail poured from the previously clear sky, and not just a bit, but bucket loads of it. So obviously I carried on drumming and leading the journey. But when I stopped drumming and coming to the end of the journey, at that very same instant, the hail stopped. And we were sitting there in a cashel, so an Iron Age circular fort built by the Iron Age Irish near this site, with bucket loads of hail on our clothes. And I felt that the sort of tipping scale, like what tipped the scale of the weather to make that sudden hail storm was the energy created by this spiritual group and by the drumming. And so, yes, this is typical of what one can experience on these tours in these thin places. And I'd go on to mention that it's not an isolated incident. So when I go to the battlefield of Moitura, where the Tuatha De Danann defeated the dark and twisted Fomorians led by Balor of the Evil Eye, twice on my digital recorder, the controls went confused and out of order. It's never happened before or since. And fascinatingly, when we visited a rare and hidden Bullen stone near Loch Maclean, near Killinar in County Cavan, which has a huge secret hidden standing stone nearby, not known about, when we looked at our watches at the end of the tour, we found not 2 hours had passed, which is what we expected, but 4 hours had passed. And I've had that before. And I think that is because of the altered consciousness states these thin places can produce. And they take us out of the limitations of mundane reality, because we become connected with the very high earth energies and spiritual energies of these sites. In fact, the ancient Irish manuscripts are full of people visiting fairyland or the land of eternal youth and then returning to this world after a brief visit, but finding that centuries have passed. That reflects what I'm talking about. It's the same thing. So I lead 9 sacred West of Ireland tours. So go to my Druid Forest School tours page to see the list and to book. And I look forward to meeting you and to the wonderful sharing we will have. Thank you.